Okay, I told you that I was going to show you what to do next. We have this. This is what we did yesterday. But now I want to show you how to create tilted beam systems. Okay, this is something useful. So let's do it. You can complete this model, including what I'm going to do now. First, well, I'm not happy with this because this beam system, the beams have to be smaller. So let's load a family. You know that this is in steel frame, structural framing, steel. So let's work with this American standard and let's select, yeah, we can select from 10 to 5. Click OK. And now if we select the beam system, remember that we can select one beam or we can select the whole beam system. So select all these. And now let's change to, this is the American standard. Let's change this 5 times 10. Yeah, that looks better. So you can do this with all these systems. We can always select this and we can filter and just select the structural beam system. Apply. And we can change this. And finally, select this, filter, beam system, and this 510. Okay, that looks better. Just and okay, let's make a second floor here. So for the second floor, we have to extend these columns. Columns up to filter all groups. Cancel. Okay, we have to ungroup structural columns. And we extend this to level 24. There you go. Okay, so on level 24, we have to copy the same. We can copy all these elements, including the beam systems. But first, we're going to do something different here. Okay, so if you select this column, we can extend this and to make sure that we are doing, because we want to extend 1, 2, and 3 columns. So we can, this is up to level 24, but we can extend the top offset, let's say 3 feet. Okay. So we are going to do a shape like this, and then we will adapt the beam systems. We can copy everything that we have done here, beams and beam systems. So we copy this, remove constraints, and you can copy this to a different level. Can we? Yeah. And now we want to adapt this beam to this element. How can we do it? We can, here we have the start level and the end level. So by changing the start level, I type 3. Okay. Yep. And you see how the beam system adapts the new shape. That apparently we have to do the same with this beam here. And we have a start offset. Okay, it's not the start, it's the end. End level 3. Okay. Now we have to do the same with this. Is it the start or the end? Let's try end. Okay. And this one, is it start or end? End? No, this is start. And now this one, is this start? Yes. And this might be the end. Yep. And this one, I don't know, start. Yep. Okay, so you see that we can adapt and we have this shape now. Is it, why are we doing this? Well, that goes well with resistance. When we fold something, it's always good. Okay, so this kind of folded structures resist better. And we can even create an overhang. Okay, so now imagine that we remove the columns. That would be something feasible. As long as we have that span and then we extend this span here, that can work as an overhang. Okay, and if we fold the structure this way, it works even better. What if we want to do the same here? So imagine that we want to have like a tilted beam system in this direction, and and okay, let's try. So first we need to close this. This is something weak. So when we're working with this framing, we always need to close this. So as far as I remember, that was level 30, level 36. Yep. So on level 36, we can draw a beam structure, beam. Make sure that this is not the American standard. This is too small, so it has to be this 310, and so the big one. And then make sure that you place it here. And here. And now we do the same here and here. We look at the 3D and we have beams there. Okay, as I told you, now we want to create a beam system, but in this direction. So from the top chord to the bottom chord of this truss. And well, let me start and then I'll explain you what to do. So we have the beam system. We can create we can pick supports. So this is the top chord, this is the bottom, and we have this one and this one. You see, well, the level is not, but we will fix it later. But we have to make it a closed loop. So you have to trim this pink line and make sure that this is a rectangle. Okay, then the beam direction. You see that the beam direction is parallel to the truss. It has to be perpendicular because we have to do this with a short span. So let's select the short. We click OK. We have beams here. It's not the right position, but I want to show you this. So if you select 3D here in the properties window, 3D, oh, this is what we want. Okay, so you can create, it doesn't matter the level, but if we click 3D, it adjusts to the support or the chords that we have selected. And now in this kind of structures, well, we can make it the 510. Okay, yes. And in this kind of structures, it's extremely important that everything is connected in this. So the intersection, you see that all these bars are intersecting at this point. Okay, so this beam system should be intersecting at this point as well. How can we do that? Well, I'll do it just by selecting the fixed number, the right fixed number. So how many here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have 12 interspaces between two different columns. Okay, so we have two different 12 bays. The distance between two columns, it's a bay. So how many of these do we need? I think we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think 11. It's fine. Yep. So if you check now, it matches perfectly the new beam system that we have created with this. Okay, so now everything is working well. We have this kind of skylights in factories. This is good, especially if we have a north light here, because if this is a court, a basketball court or whatever, we can have south lighting because it hits on our eyes and we don't see anything. Okay, so it's always good having this north oriented so that we have natural light, but it doesn't affect the performance of people here. And what's next? We can copy the beam system. No, make sure that you take a good reference, this point maybe. And now we can copy this. Yeah, so it works. So I select beam system now, copy multiple, There you go. Okay, so now I've shown you how to do this, how to create tilted beam systems. And if you're working with a module and you control the elevation of the columns and the elevation of the start or the end of the beams, then you can create this, and then you can adapt the beam system to these shapes that are not straight.